What's good, everybody? What's up? What's up? Man eater. Hola. Hola, mi reina. Can y'all hear me good? Good, good, good. Yeah. Let me turn up this bit right here. All right, so check this out. Usually we bullshit a little bit and we watch Democracy Now! Or something. But we're gonna jump right into it because we got limited amounts of time. I don't know who's out there in the chat right now, but we're just gonna start. How about that? And then if you filter in, babe, if you're listening, when people come in and they go, "What's going on?" Just let them know I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna answer that question like 80 times. uh, Here we go. We're gonna bring in a guest, and we're gonna do this on the fly. So guest spot, boom. Uh, we're gonna turn up the mic. Boom. Window. Hmm. Oh shit. That's not it. That's not it. Skillet. Right. Where did I put that bitch? This is every stream. Always messing with something. Do you ever live stream?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I gotta catch your streams because I'm always messing around with something. Every time I try, oh, there it is. I'm like, where the hell that thing go? Every time I'm trying to mess with something, it's always never going right.
Can't win for losing, huh?
She
Oh.
coming up. I hope it's not something crazy like because it's Jitsi and it's all secure or whatever, or pretend secure. And I was like, oh, there it is, right there. Boom, boom. We got magic. We cooking with fire. You're here. That's all that matters. That's right, man eater. All right, boom. Black Red Guard. There we go. It took a minute. It took a minute.
Hey.
What's going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through.
No problem.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I am not the founder of AFROSOC. I am a member of the National Executive Committee of AFROSOC, but I'm not going to steal flowers from the comrades who actually went through hell and high water to get that caucus started. So
That's what's up.
I'm a proud AFROSOC member. I'm a member of the National Executive Committee. I am a member of the executive committee of St. Louis Democratic Socialists of America, and I was a recent convention delegate. And yeah, I wear a lot of hats in DSA. I am also a proud member of DSA's Liberation Caucus. So
There you
yeah,
go.
a lot of stuff to do. Always busy, but it is for the revolution, and the revolution will not let you sleep because the enemy will not let you sleep.
That's right. That's right. Dang, you sound like so. I was a bet. You sound like you're active duty right now. He's like, I am active duty. I'm in the fight every day.
Oh no, I have never served the United States military. No.
Yeah,
I serve the people and the people only.
better man than me. Better man than
Yeah,
me.
never been. Yeah, I've never been Uncle Sam's paid goon.
There you go. There you go. I was, yeah.
Now you know a lot of people, a lot of leftists in particular, like they're still acting like it's 1916. Oh my God, you fucking baby killer! I'm like, look, like if you go to an indigenous reservation, like
Uh-huh.
a lot of those comrades out there are veterans. So
That's right.
like,
Right.
and y'all in particular have skills that can be applied to the revolutionary cause. So I'm like, what do you want? Like, do you want them all to be fascists? Do you want all the people that actually know how to use guns being opposed to us? Because that's a really really cool way to lose.
That's
And
right.
I don't know about you, but I do not want to end my life kneeling in a ditch waiting to get shot in the head. So
That's it. That's it.
all power to you.
Or in the front yard. No, that's it exactly. You say you were at the convention. I will tell you, people who watch here, they know a little bit about the DSA. I try to do my my ministry to
Mhm.
the
Your
but
ministry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, when you said I'm not the chair of the AfroSoc, I'm sure some what is that? So what is AfroSoc?
Okay, AFROSOC, despite the name, it's a caucus that's open to anybody who is BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, person of color. So Palestinian comrades can join,
Mm-hmm.
Indigenous comrades can join, Asian comrades can join,
Mm-hmm.
Latino comrades of color can join. The only stipulation, identity-wise, is that you are not white. Why? Because white people already run enough shit in DSA, and we kind of need our own space. So yeah,
No, and
pretty
then,
radical, good group of comrades. Yeah,
but
proud to
you're
be a
you're
member.
in both, so you're in both AfroSoc and Liberation
Yeah,
Caucus. Okay,
yeah.
that's what's up.
AfroSoc is an identity-based caucus. Liberation is an ideologically based caucus. It is organized around the principles of Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Maoism. That's a you don't meet very Maoists. Well, I don't.
You're not in DSA anyways, but we are
Yeah,
growing.
yeah,
Yeah, we're growing.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
So I kind of let me start there. Like, so I already told y'all. You guys know how I do it. I don't have notes. I don't have questions, nothing like that. Hell, maybe that's not a good thing. But uh,
Becoming unprepared.
no. This is prepared. This is standard because I like conversation to be natural.
Mm.
So actually, you kind of piqued my interest in something. Uh, Marxists, classical Marxists, or just some agnostic kind of like how I am. Like I would say I'm a Marxist, but when people start getting like, oh yeah, look, it was a Trotskyist, Lenin, da 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 da, I'm like, and
I'm at the point where like, look, a Trotskyist bullet shoots as straight as a Maoist bullet, shoots as straight as an anarchist bullet, shoots as straight as an ML bullet.
right,
If you're willing to be on the barricades and defend the people and defend the revolution, then I welcome you. I like
yeah,
getting in sectarian squabbles and arguments. That stuff is for peacetime. And
that's
like
right,
we
that's
have
right.
our comrades are literally being dragged off the fucking street.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like this is serious shit. Like these
That's
are
right,
enemies. Our enemies are many. They are armed, and now, well, we can say that they have always held state power. America has never been organized in the interests of the working class
ever.
or of black people. Like
Mm-hmm.
shit. If this was 150 years ago, you and I both would be slaves.
That's right,
So that's the main thing that we have to get our comrades to realize. Like
that's
this
right.
country was never great. This
Mm-hmm.
country will never be great. It
Mm-hmm.
was predicated on a foul principle to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It was organized and founded by a bunch of slave owning merchants, plantation owners, big business people,
Mm-hmm.
and gradually the working class white population was initiated to mild extents into whiteness
Mm-hmm.
to forestall the possibility of people uniting on a class basis.
That's right.
So you have a white bourgeoisie who bought off, bribed their own working class to be enemies of us, to oppose those of us who dare to dream and dare to struggle for a better world. So that's a major hurdle that we have to get through.
Right, right. And when you look at that stuff, like you said, this country has never been great. It's funny because coming from where I come from, growing up in a military family and Christian, and then coming to where I'm at now, it's interesting because over the last, I don't know, I say but now about 10 years or so, this kind of deprogramming you do, the stuff that you allow yourself to read and allow yourself to understand, to this day I'm like realizing certain things, realizing like, wait a minute, like, what was it? It was a story I was telling the other day about the Alamo. I'm like, the Alamo. I literally just learned a few months ago that the Alamo was over the Texans wanting to keep slaves and Mexico saying no.
Yeah, Mexico abolished slavery almost immediately after their independence.
Yeah.
And like as the rule was, like if you were black and enslaved, as soon as you set foot on Mexican soil, technically you were free.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexicans, they kind of fucked up by inviting a bunch of slave owners from Kentucky and Tennessee, your
Mm-hmm.
Davy Crockett, your Jim Bowie types,
Yep. To work the
to come
land. Mm-hmm.
to not no, they didn't work shit, but
Mm-hmm.
they basically wanted them as a buffer
Right.
against the indigenous people who made frequent raids into Mexico. Like Mexico is also a settled colonial state. It was founded by the Spaniards,
Right.
worked by indigenous and black slave labor.
Mhm.
So we have to keep that in mind as well.
Sure.
But
Sure. But
but
there,
yeah,
yeah, there's a weird history with that white Latinos and white supremacists in Latin America, they like to like jump on this like one of those kernels of truth type thing and then exasperate it out where they're like, actually, Spain gave rights to me and my wife were talking about this the other day where she's like, who's what is this guy talking about? I'm like, yeah, no, it's a thing.
The Spaniards were literally, well, there's no such thing as a good slave owner, but
Right.
the Spanish were notorious for their brutality. Like in
Right.
Cuba, they literally bred dogs, like those dogs that used to hunt us when we escaped off the plantation. Those were
Hmm.
bred from Spanish stock. And during the Haitian Revolution, the French literally they ordered these vicious dogs from Cuba to help hunt down the Maroons and the slave rebels. So
Yeah.
yeah, the Spanish were like, and a lot of the Pan Hispanidad people, like, I had a debate, an argument with the Puerto Rican dude on Twitter who literally thought that Puerto Rico would be better off not independent but
Stop.
reintegrated into the now defunct Spanish Empire. Like, it's funny that's the Spaniards and the Portuguese, like, literally were the OG imperialists,
Hmm.
and like they've basically lost everything. Like, literally, Portuguese people are moving to Angola, a former colony, because Angola has a better economy than
Right.
they do. Yeah,
Right. Portugal's moving right.
yeah.
Spain, surprisingly, like their communist party is growing. It's a social democracy. Spain is, it looks like it might be heading in a decent direction, but the problem is that they're never gonna like, none of these places are ever gonna give up capitalism. So it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Never say never. That's not a very dialectical statement.
Well, hold on.
Like to say,
They're not gonna give it up. That doesn't mean somebody's not gonna make it go away. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's what I mean. The people in power now are not gonna give it up. And
Oh
so
no. Oh hell
um,
no. They still
they're
have a king over there.
they're not the same Spanish Empire though. I'm not gonna debate that. Like I want independence for Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? Like for sure, 100%. But if like all yeah, if all the Puerto Ricans on the island said, let's join the United States, I'd cry. My heart would be broken, and I'd be like, "This is the fucking dumbest thing you guys could have done." If they said, because let's say, nope, you're not getting freedom, blah blah blah, and they don't want to die in a war or whatever, we're going to Spain. Spain's gonna retake us. I'd be
I don't think the Spaniards would take them
like,
back.
no, no, I don't think so either. I don't
Yeah,
think
they
so
got. I
either.
think they got enough of that whole empire thing.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
And they're not trying to invent another Catalonia too. So, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
inherit another Catalonia. I'm like,
I support the balkanization of all European states. Free Catalonia, free Wales, free Scotland,
there you go, there you
Ulster
go.
back to the Irish. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
All right.
that's what they get. They spend enough time doing it to us.
Right. Right. So here's what I was going to ask you. You brought up the fact that you're a Marxist Maoist. How
Marxist, Leninist, Maoist,
MLM.
MLM,
Yeah. 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 Why are you in the DSA?
because DSA is the largest socialist organization in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be kind of stupid for those of like for a Maoist, one who never shuts up about the masses, to um, to be agnostic or even hostile to the formation where the masses of people who identify as socialists in the United States are.
Right.
Same thing with elections. Like, yeah, elections, they're never going to allow you to vote away their power where it
Mm-hmm.
matters. but at the same time, they can be used in an agitational way.
Mhm.
And even at the local level, like it is very possible to have a majority of the DSA branch. I mean, a majority of the city council or an alderman in
Mm.
a city, say like Seattle or Portland, be DSA members. Like that's within the realm of possibility, and especially in regards to the struggle of our trans siblings.
Mhm.
Like a lot of these horrible laws that are targeting trans youth in schools that passed by school boards. Like
Mhm.
there's literally a plan by reactionary Christian organizations to at the local level take over and dominate school boards so that they can pass these types of reactionary restrictions.
Yep.
And
I mean, that's Project 2025 right there.
yeah,
Mhm.
so as a Maoist, I think tactically, like you only make your mistake when you start seeing reformism as strategy.
Mm.
Like basically, they're going to allow us to reform away capitalism. That's an error of line, and it leads to errors in practice.
Mhm.
So tactically, on the other hand, how do we get to the point where the people are prepared for what needs to be done to topple this empire and allow us to see peace, freedom, and socialism in our lifetime?
Reform to get
part
to
of that
right.
part of that involves tactical engagement with elections. Like I spent years as a hard abstentionist. Yeah, don't vote, revolt. And you know what happened? People kept voting anyways.
Mhm.
So I do think though that we should give credit to black and brown youth who are advanced. They don't
Yes.
vote. They don't vote because they know that voting really, in the grand scheme of things, does not do shit. So we should not be lecturing them like, "Oh, hey, you need to vote. You're a dummy if you don't participate." Like a lot of
Mhm.
these comrades do participate. A lot of these comrades do participate. They just participate in ways that are not amenable to white reformists.
Right.
So
I think you can kind of adjust the messaging. I think you're right. You could adjust the messaging to the point where you're like, it's not, hey, get out there and vote. It's what are you doing? Like
yeah,
what are you doing? And if you're sitting home playing video games all day and getting high and you don't give a shit about anything, then that's what we want to change. But if you're actually out there, I mean, like there's YDSA, there's all kinds of people out there. There's even like a big brother, big sister program, getting involved in your community, making a difference, then okay. I don't care if you vote or not because you're doing better than
yeah.
voting. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I consistently try to explain to comrades, organize and otherwise. Like even in DSA, like there's quite a few people that they just pay their dues every month. They don't participate in meetings. They're not on any committee. They don't attend political education events. They don't attend meetings of committees. Like you have to do the work. What is the
Hmm.
point in joining DSA and then complaining? Oh my God, the writers have done so. Okay, you have a vote. You have one vote.
Hmm.
Go to a meeting. If something that you do not like is happening in your chapter, complaining on Twitter does nothing.
Hmm.
All it does is give fuel and ammunition to people who really don't give a shit about DSA. They want to wreck DSA because, again, we have almost 100,000 members.
Hmm.
So these little sects, these little Boy Scout clubs, they'd love to peel off some of that 100,000 for their own little sect and then go back to doing nothing.
Right.
So DSA is uniquely situated because we have people in office all across the country.
Hmm.
Some are good, some are bad. Um, we have a huge amount of resources. We have almost 100,000 dues paying members,
Hmm.
and we have energy. We have energy. My goal in DSA is to put every single one of these 90,000, however many members we have, to work.
Hmm.
To work. That's what builds and lays the foundations for a communist party.
Hmm.
You cannot be a communist if you're just a paper member.
Hmm.
You cannot be a communist if you're just a paper member. That's why I voted down. That's why I voted against. Well, the convention voted it down, but that's why I voted against one member, one vote because that shit is easy to manipulate. Like,
Absolutely.
okay, so basically, I can recruit all 45,000 of my Twitter followers and rig an election for me.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
I do not want to do that. Like, that
Yeah,
is a shitty. That's not good party life.
right.
I do not want our NPC elections and our local elections turning into a popularity contest. I mean, I'm pretty popular. I'd win, but that's not how I want things to go.
I was actually talking to somebody at in Chicago about that when we were at the convention where I was like and I was at the table with, NYC, and, I
Did
was
you
like,
see me? Did I see you in Chicago?
I don't think we ever met. I don't think we talked.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. But one day, one day. But I said, well, because they were all for it, right? And I voted against it. And I'm like, isn't it a little weird though that if we went this route, like L.A., what do you got L.A. and New York? I mean, being the ones that have such a big say, and then they're like, well, it's not a monolith. We don't all think the same way. I'm like, no, but you can sit there and be swayed, and you're sitting there
it's
in one
amazing. It's
chapter. Yeah,
amazing. It's amazing. It was a naked power grab. That's what it was. It was a
absolutely.
naked power grab. And
Hmm.
like the main thing that I would advise comrades in New York City to do is like you have to get rid of that big city chauvinism.
Hmm.
You have to. Like you've got comrades that because like, okay, yeah, y'all have a shitload of delegates. But at the same time, that chauvinism, that arrogance, you're going to end up recruiting like you're not all of DSA. You're a
Hmm.
large chunk of DSA, but you're not all of DSA.
Hmm.
So like I do not want our organization to be factionalized and polarized along regional lines. And you're right. Like there are comrades in New York City who align more towards the left. I mean, we literally have a cell of Liberation Caucus there.
Mm.
So, but at the same time, like we're all in this thing together.
That's right.
And there's no big I little you in this shit because when you start thinking like that, then people are going to start thinking like that too. And the
Hmm.
next thing you know, you've got regional factionalism. That's no
That's
good.
right.
We have to be united. We have to adhere to the decisions that were made at convention, and we have to prepare for what's coming.
Hmm.
I watched the Come Hell or High Water on Netflix about Hurricane Katrina,
Hmm.
and just like the atrocities, the
Hmm.
barbarities that this government committed against the working class black
Hmm.
people of New Orleans,
Hmm.
it that shit's coming back. Like Bush was a fuck. Bush was a fuck. He left thousands of people to drown in their attics. The Super Bowl was a shit show. It's basically the Thunderdome.
Hmm.
You had the convention center stacked full of dead bodies. Okay, Bush was a fuck.
Right.
But the Trump's response to a disaster of Katrina type would be catastrophic. It would make Bush look like a logistical genius. Between 5 to 10, if Katrina hit New Orleans today,
Hmm.
between 5,000 and 10,000 people would be dead
Mm.
because this government has already stated that if you live in a city that votes Democrat,
Hmm.
cities like Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Hawaii. Well, Hawaii's not a city, but like
Yeah,
St.
but
Louis,
no, yeah,
Kansas City, New Orleans, Houston. Like
they're gonna
if
withhold funds.
yeah, like if you get hit by a disaster, you're on your own. Like Trump
Hmm.
and this administration wants to punish wants to punish progressive cities and wants to punish progressive people and it wants to punish progressive organizations. We
Hmm.
cannot let that happen.
Right.
And the way that DSA can actually intervene meaningfully in in these types of things is if we are united. Like I saw PSL when Texas when Kerr County, Texas flooded. You remember all those kids at that summer camp? They all got
Yep.
washed away.
Right.
Like PSL was out there in St. Louis when the tornado happened. PSL was out there the next day. They established their own little relief depot in
Hmm.
Fountain Park, right next to a church in which an elder who was preparing lunch for our unhoused brothers and sisters was killed. And PSL was out there
Hmm.
serving the community and doing good mass work. That's what DSA has to do
Yeah.
if DSA actually wants to maintain its position and grow it. We're
Right.
not in competition with PSL and St. Louis. PSL and DSA are basically in coalition, but
That's right.
like
Yeah.
we have to, as leftists, as communists, as anarchists, like we have to realize that these people are coming for our ass.
Hmm.
The masses are depending on us. The masses are depending on us. We need to recruit hundreds of thousands, millions
Hmm.
of working class black and brown and indigenous people into our organizations. We have to train them, prepare
Hmm.
them as cadre, and we have to get ready for what's coming
Hmm.
because it's coming. Our enemies are training. You look at them; they're in compounds. They've got rifles.
Hmm.
Each and every one of those bullets has a commie's name on it. So we have to realize, as George Jackson said, that fascism is already here. Put aside your petty quarrels and unite.
Hmm.
Otherwise, untold generations yet unborn will suffer the consequences of our stupidity and our inaction.
Yeah. I've definitely watched videos of those training videos, and it's in the moment. You can clown, you can laugh, you can, be like, look at these
I,
idiots. But
I
then,
don't find it. I don't find it funny.
right, right.
I
I
don't
I
find it funny. These
I
people are dead
compare it to
serious.
people who are like the humor for me comes in the comparison, the contrasting against actual militaries and actual training, right? But then you stop for a second and you think like they're literally training to where? To go to another country? No, to kill fellow Americans, to kill us. And so and that's why you don't see them today. Where are they? Where are the Proud Boys? Where did
They're,
Patriot
qu-
Front go?
they're quiet. When your enemy is quiet,
Oh,
you're an ex-military. You're an ex-military man.
they're not
When you're when
quiet.
you're
They're not quiet. They're loud. You know what they're wearing? They're wearing ICE uniforms.
yeah, and
That's where
those
they went.
and those that aren't in ICE, like they're literally preparing, like Apple
Yeah,
Waffle, all
yeah.
those groups of people. I'm not saying their real
No.
name, but like all those
Mm-hmm,
types
mm-hmm.
of people, like when your enemy is quiet, they're not they didn't go away.
Yeah.
All those people that were marching in the streets during
Mm-hmm,
Trump won, all those guys we were out there fighting, they're
mm-hmm.
still here. They're just quiet
And
and
you're
they
right.
know
And you're right.
and they
Mm-hmm,
learned a lot from the failure of Unite the Right when
mm-hmm.
Heather Heyer was killed and they were like even Trump condemned them
Right.
in his way. Like they learned, okay, these big marches and stuff like that. You notice now that they're you see, I mean, you still see Patriot Front. You remember when they rolled up on that black neighborhood in Cleveland, I believe,
Well,
or was it
how long
Cincinnati?
ago?
Beginning of the year, January.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they rolled up and the brothers and sisters got together. I think it was
They
Cincy.
were in the back of
Uh,
they did that whole back of the U-Haul thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were on
yeah.
a bridge. They were on a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They had the little swastikas and shit out,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stupidly like they did a fucking Nazi protest right next to the fucking projects. And the masses came out and they were basically drove off. If the police were there, every single fucking fascist on that bridge would have been dead.
Yeah.
So the masses are ready. The masses are ready.
That's right.
It's up for socialists and communists and anarchists who claim to be leaders of the masses to actually get with it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, what I was gonna say, the when you said they're being quiet, I mean, that's actually correct. Even the ones in ICE,
Yeah.
because they're not letting you know they joined ICE. But when we talk about over 100,000 applicants to ICE, they have a backlog. Like they haven't hired this many ICE in the history, of these sort of agencies. And then you like what liberation? Well, all those stupid white supremacist groups. Which one of them wouldn't jump on something like ICE to become one of Trump's goons? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cool. And they don't have to let you know, but those are the people that are out there now. And
Yeah, you
it's
don't have
just
to. Yeah,
it's
when your guys in state power,
yep.
you don't have to run around in the streets with
Hmm.
with the fucking ugly black and yellow polo on.
Right.
Now you can do it. You can get paid for it. You get paid to do
And
like
still wear your mask.
yeah, yeah. You can get paid to do it. Now you have a badge. Now you have a gun. You are part of the monopoly on violence. So you can do all the shit that I guarantee you. Like 75% of these guys that are putting on ICE and border patrol badges in 2016, they were wearing black and yellow polos.
Bet. Easy.
Yeah,
Easy. Did you hear what the Chicago mayor?
Brandon Johnson. Yeah.
What do you
What
think
about
about that?
basically like because Trump is planning to occupy Chicago after he
Right.
finishes having the National Guard pick up trash in DC.
Hmm.
Comrades in Chicago, they have varying opinions on Brandon Johnson. If I recall correctly, his approval rating is extremely low.
I'm
But
talking about a recent statement. Did you hear the recent statement he just put out where it was low key, like it gave vibes of this has the potential of being the spark to start some sort of even localized civil war. Basically, he comes out and he was straight up, I have signed an executive order ordering the police department to not cooperate, and they're not allowed to wear anything but their uniform. And basically, it's like this executive order protect Chicagoans, and just basically setting up all the resources of Chicago to resist Trump.
we'll see. Karen Bass fainted at it in LA. And the thing is also like These are politicians. Politicians lie.
Mm,
So we'll see.
yeah.
Of course, knowing Chirac, um, and when I was actually in Chicago, I stayed in a little village, La Villita, working class Mexican area,
Mm,
and yeah, those people are going to throw down.
yeah.
Like South Side, West Side,
Right.
the masses of Chicago are not going to allow. Same thing. Like we already see what's happening in D.C.
Yep.
The masses of Chicago, um, the working class people of Chicago are not going to allow this to
No.
fly. So I
No.
don't. I have my faith is in the masses, not in Brandon Johnson or
Sure.
Karen Bass or Gavin Gecko out in California. Like I don't trust any
No.
of these people.
Gavin.
Yeah, they're liars. These
Yeah.
people are
Hundred.
liars.
Hundred
Like
percent. Hundred
these people
percent.
are liars. They don't give a fuck about anything. Like Gavin Newsom is probably measuring the carpet and drapes in the White House because he thinks that somebody's going to elect him to be president in
Right.
2028.
Right.
No, so yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he was, their choice. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and there's a video up where I you detail all the shit he's done. He's Trump with nice hair.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Having the what you call it roll in. Oh, you got to go soon, huh?
Uh
Oh, okay. No, then
No,
you
I've
say
still got another. I've still got another half hour, bro.
okay, 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 okay.
Like, well,
Um,
20, more like 20 minutes, but yeah,
20
I'm good.
minutes. Yeah, yeah. I was looking at the time for you. Um, real quick for people in the chat. If you notice, he said something about followers and stuff like that. One thing that he didn't say for himself, and I forgot to bring up, is Black Red Guard has a YouTube channel, and it was the reason why I invited him on because um, when I talked to him before the stream started, I said something about I made the mistake of saying, "Did you know something on social media?" And he said, "Look here, bitch. I don't look at social media.
I
I
would never
read."
call you that.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing. No, he said he's a reader and he's a smart dude. So I tell you what, if you yeah, if you're looking for big brains, you need to make sure you follow Black Red Guard. Um, so listen, when um when we talk about uh I want to go back to the DSA real quick. I want to make sure we tap into this. Um, it's interesting how often this DSA so white thing comes up. It's been coming up nonstop forever. Rashida Tlaib throws a spear at the convention about it, which was valid, and I think she did it flawlessly and with such even respectfully. But she was like, "Look, I love y'all, but why is this room so white?" You know what I mean? We have a Kendra in our chapter here who's going to be running for Georgia State Representative, and she came back and we had a steering committee meeting yesterday, and she told us as she was telling people that she was in the DSA here in Savannah, she was told that the black folks in here in Savannah don't fuck with the DSA, and I said, I'm like, okay, like what is it? Because I've been in the DSA since 2020, but I've probably been in it hard, probably like a year and a half, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the steering committee now and shit like that, but it hasn't been that way for very long. So teach me what's going on. Why how can why is this such a big deal?
You want somebody who joined DSA after you, like
Yes.
literally 2 years after you, to
Y-
explain to you why DSA has a
Yeah,
whiteness problem.
I don't have books I don't have books like that behind me, so you gotta
Neither
help
one
me
of
out.
these books talks about DSA's whiteness problem.
No, what
But
is it? What is it exactly that you have noticed? Because I know you're in the AfroSoc caucus. I know that you made a video on your channel about it, which is why I wanted you to come on here and speak to that a little bit because it is something that I think that the DSA needs to fix and fix quickly
it's a couple
because
things,
yeah,
Robo.
yeah, go ahead.
It's a myriad of factors. Okay, it's not just like white people as white people, but it's also like the classes of
Mm.
white people that DSA attracts. Like I've talked to working class white people who literally said, "Man, these are not my type of people." Like literal people who grew up in trailer parks, who grew up on food stamps and welfare. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had there's a shitload of working class white people in this country, and like it's just DSA. It's culture. It's oriented in many cases around the interests and desires and class perspective of downwardly mobile professional managerial class
Mm-hmm.
white people, and not just white people. Like there's a lot of PMC Asian comrades, a lot of PMC black comrades. So like um it's definitely there's definitely a class aspect to it, but um in regards to DSA being only 4% black, um it's again, it's a myriad of factors. So one,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows that when a whole bunch of white people get together and you're the only brother or you're the only sister in the room, it's they're gonna let you know that you in their house.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm.
gonna treat they're gonna and in many cases it's not intentional, but
Right.
like we pick up on microaggressions. Like
Mm.
we can read the room and we can read like we can detect when the people who are like, oh, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Like why is he here? He doesn't go
Mm.
to our microbrewery. And then like
Damn.
it's also like a thing with transplants. Like a lot of people in chapters in black cities did not grow up in those cities.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis, Atlanta, um, LA, like so you have the aspect of like of struggle between locals and um and transplants.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people move to cities like St. Louis during college or for work, and they fall in love with our city, and that's dope. But and the struggle between transplants and locals in
Mm-hmm.
DSA chapters, I don't think it has to be an antagonistic contradiction.
Sure.
But like, if your chapter is all transplants and all white in a 50% black city, there's a reason for that. It's because black people culturally do not feel comfortable in a room full of white folks,
Mm-hmm.
socialists or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to address the situation because it's no good to just talk about a situation and do it to death. People have been talking about this since long before I joined
Mm-hmm.
DSA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we need to we have to actually intentionally make Democratic Socialists of America an organization that black people, brown people, indigenous people, working class white people feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in. As Chase said, we have to paint the university the colors of the people. We have to paint DSA the colors of the people. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have to intentionally do so. We
Mm-hmm.
have to, in our political education, we have to study texts. Why are we not reading the autobiography of Malcolm X? Why are we not reading Asada? Why are we just reading Jacobin slop?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we reading Marx over and over and over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the ways in which meetings are conducted. Um Robert's rules alienates a lot of people. Like I'm from a Maoist background. We didn't use Robert's rules. We just like, okay, we're doing this thing. Let's vote on it. Anybody that supports it, raise your hand. Anybody that opposes it, raise your hand. Okay, that's what we're doing. So I think we have to. I'm not saying we do away with Robert's rules because it's generally if the chair knows his or her shit, as we saw at convention, they can be used to keep shit on track.
Mm-hmm.
Also, again, it's like comrades who have not had that type of training, that type of education. If you look at Robert's Rules of Order, if I recall correctly, like the actual book is like 1,200 pages.
Right. Right.
So,
It's a big
um,
ass book.
yeah, like we need shit. Oh my God, you have a copy?
No, 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 no. But I looked at it and I said, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
I
So
was gonna
like,
get, I was gonna get one for the convention. I'm like,
it's like the fucking dictionary, man.
yeah.
Like, and I'm the type of nerd that used to sit and read the dictionary. But like, well, actually, it was atlases for me. But
Okay.
anyways, ask me the capital of a random country, I will tell you.
uh, what is the capital of? We'll just say Indonesia.
Jakarta.
Very nice. Very nice.
Anyways, going back to that, I had to flex a little bit. But go,
Viola Tree says Rwanda,
Rwanda, Kigali.
and now that's pretty good.
All right, going back to going back to like why DSA is so white is because like a lot of people, like a lot of people, a lot of white comrades even from all caucuses talk about it.
Mm,
But I think a lot of people are like afraid of actually addressing the situation because they're afraid of what these black people will tell them.
mm,
Like DSA, a lot of DSA people live in a bubble. Like it's just like the whole Zoran thing.
mm,
Like Zoran got up and said some stupid shit and basically like gave the impression that he was repudiating our platform.
mm.
Like that's not, I mean, Zoran is not, and people like Zoran does not hold a formal leadership position in DSA. Our
You talk about what
co-chairs,
he said. That's not my platform. I have a different platform. Blah blah blah
yeah,
blah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's talked about his electoral platform. Like our co-chairs of DSA are Megan Romer
Mm-hmm,
and Ashik Sadiq.
mm-hmm.
Our NPC is basically the central committee of DSA. So that's our leadership. Zoran Mamdani does not hold a formal leadership position in
Sure.
DSA. That being said, with him running to be the mayor of the largest city in the United States and the belly of the finance capital beast,
Mm-hmm.
people tend to see him as a representative of Democratic Socialists of America.
Right.
Same thing with AOC's silly self. Same thing with Jamal Bowman. Like our electeds, they have to realize that if you want our labor, I know comrades from all caucuses in New York City who busted their asses for this man. And for you to get up there, and like people are not dumb, for you to get up there, I saw him whining at the Labor Day parade. It was funny. But
Who?
like Zoran. But
Uh.
like and then somebody got shot in the leg. But anyways, like if we're going to have these people out there representing us, and
Right.
then I'm of the position that you should not run for shit like mayor until you control the city council. Because
Mm.
if you don't do that, then like basically whatever you're basically going to have to mitigate and water down what little socialism you have in you. Like
That's right. And
Zoran
then they'll use
Mamdani,
that against him.
yeah, like Zoran is not a socialist in the Marxist sense. He's a social democrat. So when we talk about like going for these high ticket seats, mayor of New York City, senator, congressman, like what base do we have?
Mm.
How many of the people are with us? How are we going to be able to actually enact and enforce our agenda? This man is getting ready to be the head of the fourth largest standing army in the world, and now we're talking about running somebody for president of the
Mm.
empire.
Mm.
Like people just they just do stupid shit. They don't think it through. There's really no strategizing. I guess all they think is that like they think like staffers.
Mm.
They think like staffers. I think this man is going to get elected and he's going to um, help build up their resumes.
Yeah.
That's not mass work. Like this whole mass politics shit. Maoism is the only mass politics. Getting a whole bunch of Democrats together to vote for a social democrat is not mass politics.
Mm.
It's an abuse of the term.
You don't think he's a because I mean he gave that answer talking about how he didn't think capitalism was a good thing, which I was surprised that he would
Bernie
say out
Sanders would
loud.
say the same. Bernie Sanders would say the same thing. Like, no, socialism does not just mean rich people bad.
No,
Socialism
no.
means socialism means the dictatorship of the proletariat on the
That's right.
communist road. It means the class dictatorship of the proletariat.
Mm.
That's what socialism is. The term has
Mm.
been so cheapened and besmirched in the imperial core. That's
Mm.
why I call myself a communist.
Mm. That's interesting. That's interesting. For me, like, shit, maybe I'm one of the people that water it down because for me, I'm like, look, you have to just understand, it gets, once you start getting into theory like you do, yeah, obviously there are more academic answers to a thing, but I'm like, to somebody just coming in, I say, look, Twitch is not working. For real?
What else is new?
With the chat or I'm not live over there. Yeah, so I say, look, you have to understand. This is the way I put it plainly, as I try to figure out what the fuck's going on with Twitch. What is I said? Do you think? Okay, yeah, no, Twitch is fine. You went to I don't know. Viola must have the magic. Um, Let me mute this real quick. Yeah, so I said, listen, do you think that capitalism could be reformed? Do you think that, it's the people that have taken capitalism and they've taken advantage of it, and it's not so much capitalism, it's evil people. Do you think that? If the answer is yes, if you think capitalism could be used for good at all, then you're not a socialist. Not because anybody's gatekeeping, not because of anything else besides you have to meet that. And if somebody were to tell me, no, you have to get rid of capitalism, you know what I mean, from in a leftist perspective, then I'm like, all right,
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how do you get rid of capitalism? The
right.
way the tricky thing is, like, a lot of people think that capitalism can be reformed away. Like, AOC, if I recall correctly, identified her ideal socialist states as being Sweden, Norway, the
Not
Netherlands,
socialist, not
and
socialist,
also
not
yeah,
socialist.
and Denmark, and she's also a big fan of the NHS. Like,
uh,
how the fuck are you going to cite four European monarchies? Like,
right.
they didn't even get as far as the French. Like four European monarchies as being exemplars of socialism.
Right.
So this just shows the need. Mao said that we need to read more Marxist Leninist texts. You have to do the reading. You have to study,
Hmm.
because if not, you end up sounding like that. You end up
Right.
not knowing what you're talking about.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you have to bury your nose in books forever.
Hmm.
You have to actually go out and get some practice.
Yeah.
But you are not going to have correct practice unless you have guided yourself. Theory is basically the summation of centuries of
Hmm.
revolutionary struggle and practice. And if you are not rooted in that, like everything that we're trying to do, somebody else has attempted it and either succeeded or failed. So we
Hmm.
have to study both our successes and failures. You cannot overthrow capitalism without violence.
Right.
Like if even like I wish that was not the case. Violence is a horrible thing. Like I am not a sociopath. I do not get off on the thought of killing people. But we have to realize that our enemies do.
Hmm.
Our enemies are willing to do anything, move
And are.
heaven and yeah, they are doing anything.
Hmm.
They're willing to do anything. They're willing to move heaven and earth to maintain their status on top.
Hmm.
And if we are not willing to move heaven and earth to topple them, then we're not going to make it. And we
Hmm.
might as well take the word socialism out of our vocabulary because we're not serious about it.
So
How
then,
did the
in that
Chinese
sense, not even democratic socialism, then, because when you start talking about Norway and stuff, you're talking about social democracies. You can't stop there, but democratic socialism can't even do it, because now you're talking about trying to reform, like you said, reform capitalism away, which is really the core of democratic socialism.
democratic socialism means a lot of things to a lot of people.
Mm,
A lot of people do see it as a stand-in for social democracy. I mean, it's basically social democracy. The term itself, the words are basically social democracy turned around.
mm,
Um, all socialism is democratic.
mm,
Socialism itself must be democratic. The thing is, in a socialist system, the rich or representatives of the rich or
mm,
representatives of the bourgeois reactionary line in the party they're not allowed to they don't have political rights. They do not have the right to form their own party. They do not have the right to start their own newspapers. Why? Because we're not stupid. So democracy for the working class and allied classes, democracy for the colonized people. But for those who would drag us back into hell, no democracy for you. The bourgeois, like what type of socialist system? What type of, after we've spilled rivers and oceans of blood to achieve our goals, why would we allow the enemy to organize and come back and
mhm,
destroy us all?
mhm.
Why would we allow that to happen?
Right.
Like, it's a matter of strategy. We're not going to allow our enemies to organize against us. It's really
Right.
that simple.
It's the piece that's missing every time I hear about, whether it's the, and I'm not saying, they're perfect or anything, but when you start hearing about gulags, or you start hearing about the one party in, whether, like in Cuba, for example, and I'm like, yeah.
Cuba is Cuba is actually more democratic than the U.S. Like in the United States, you vote, and then like my governor, Mike Kehoe in Missouri, literally just overruled the will of the electorate. We voted for paid sick leave. He just signed an executive order, well, veto or some shit,
Hmm.
basically saying "fuck you, peasants." So, like Cuba, on the other hand, like when you speak, like they literally come and they consult the people,
Hmm.
and when you speak, the cadres listen to you.
Right.
So Cuba, I would argue, is a lot more democratic than the United States.
But
Because in the United
from an
States,
American perspective, they would say not, and
who cares about the
stupidly,
American? Who
stupid.
cares? Who cares what the
Well,
who cares about the American perspective?
you have to convince them, right? So what they hear, what you have to undo once you're trying to get, the working class solidarity there, is you have to tell them, okay, are you allowed to go there and try to get capitalism back? No, you're not. Like, this is the way it's going to be. And that breaks their brain. Like, well, then that's not freedom. Like, can you make a Nazi party? Can you go to Washington D.C.? I mean, like literally with a swastika and everything? Like, no, you're not allowed to. But
In
why?
this
Why
climate,
would
you
they do?
can.
Right. Yeah. That's why you heard the hesitation.
I mean, there's been
Follow me.
Nazi
Follow
parties.
me.
There's been Nazi parties in America. Except the thing is, like Nazis also have a in their way, like the hardcore OG Nazis, like they also look down on liberal democracy.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to see a Nazi party. Like you're not going to see an old school Nazi party in the United States, at least running for office. I mean, they did, they did contest elections in Germany, but like you talk to a Nazi about like, hey, you guys going to run for office? They're going to be like, of course not. Why the fuck would we do that? This system is. So they're going to use. They're going to start. Then they're going to start raving about the Jews and all that crap. But like,
The one in
yeah,
Germany, you're talking about the one that Elon Musk sent money to, and JD Vance went and
Alternative for
spoke at.
Deutschland. Yeah,
Yeah.
fascist
But
slash unpopular.
nobody said that. The news didn't say shit about it. Like, I'm like,
Of course not. The news is controlled by the ruling class. Why would they talk about things that hurt their enemies?
yeah. I do think that there is a certain level of, when we start talking about the difference between Democrats and Republicans or whatever. I do think there is a group of the elites that are like, hey, the way we're doing fascism right now, let's keep doing that. I like the way we have the 13th Amendment. I like our, my 13 votes. And then they look at Donald Trump and they're like, oh,
Yeah,
he wants to do real fascism. I like the
that's what
fascism we have here.
that's where the whole anti-MAGA thing comes from. Like these people are basically like the Republicans and Democrats are both fascists of various types.
Right.
The MAGA Republicans are just more open about it. Like every time you see some horrible video of a working class Latino mother being ripped away from her children, you see dozens and dozens and dozens of these fascists talking about I voted for this, I voted for this. Like it's just naked racist aggression at
Mm-hmm.
this point.
Mm-hmm. Or
And
or
you
even
cannot
better, Democrats saying, see what you did? And they're like, do you not think that this wasn't happening under
both of these
Obama?
people
Like
yeah,
what?
long story short, both of these people are our enemies, and you're not going to unseat them through any means short of violence. Do I
No.
wish it was the other way? Of course I do. Like I don't want my hands soaked in blood. I don't want to have to deal with the thought of kicking some dudes. Have you read Seth Harp's new book,
No. What is that?
the Fort Bragg Cartel?
Oh, no, 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 no. I
You should
heard
read it.
about it. I need it.
It's
Yeah.
dope.
I
You should
mean,
read it. I didn't read it.
I was active duty when it was there, and I was actually talking to my friend about it. I'm like, isn't this fucking wild? Because we got briefings on it. We were like, we heard about like the gangs that were getting wrapped up. We've heard about like it wasn't just drugs. They had like whole like prostitution rings. And
Oh
I
yeah,
say prostitution because we're talking about like human trafficking, not just women doing sex work. These were like forced into it type shit. And
yeah,
it was like and it was funny because I'm like, and now it's a book. Like
yeah.
now
It's
people are talking about it. I'm like, dude, this is 20 years ago. Like, what the
Get it,
fuck?
get it, and read it. You're gonna love it.
That's
But
wild.
it's 7:52. I gotta go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
Padre shit calls.
Black Red Guard, thank you again. Everybody go follow Black Red Guard on YouTube and on X if you're on that fucking cesspool of a
OG
platform.
Black Red Guard on X.
There you
I'm
go.
very funny. But thanks for having me on, man. Anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Take care, man.
You too.
So there you go. There you go. As another guest, I had a feeling that would be pretty informative, pretty see, here's the thing is you're gonna get all different brands, all different kinds of socialists. You're gonna get and you hear them like, some people don't like calling themselves socialists because of how watered down it is. So he wants to, he'll say, I'm a communist. That way you understand exactly where he is and what he believes in. And then, some people go further, to say, okay, well, under who, there's certain people come out and they take Marx and then they kind of make it fit their material conditions or their ideology. And so some people are to this day Maoists. Um, sure, man eater, be honest. uh Just be nice. The Man, he just make me nervous. No, he's not wrong. He's, he's not wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. There are varying degrees to where people are um like, how do you get there, right? Like like exactly what he said, right? So when you sit there and you go, okay, socialism is when you reject capitalism. You understand that capitalism is the cancer. The question after that is, how do you get there? Um, and for some people, and they can be called naive or whatever. For some people, they think, I just got to make sure that the that we don't see a war or something. They believe that the violent revolution is not inevitable. And so what are we going to do? We're going to convince as many people as possible to be that capitalism is bad, and maybe we can get the next guy in presidency, and we can get enough policies, and we can get enough of this and that, and blah 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 blah. When really, I mean, if you're trying to get a social democracy, you can get there, but you cannot unseat capitalism that way. Um, and so it's been a journey, since I would say since maybe 2020 or so. It's been a journey when I realize, when I've gotten to the point of, okay, I am a leftist, I am a socialist. And then you start reading, you start listening to people who are these other things like Leninists, Marxist Leninists, or Maoists or whatever. And I'm like, where do I fit? And for a long time, I felt like, yeah, I'm I'm a democratic socialist because I've seen war. Like I've seen war, for like real war. They're not books. They're not anything. It's nothing that anybody who's ever seen it wants to ever really be in again. And so that was my main motivating factor for, as I'm looking around, as I'm reading, and I settle in with democratic socialism because in my mind, this is the way that we can get there without like the vocabulary he's using, like with blood running through the streets and shit, which is exactly how the last Civil War went in the United States. Um, and so, but where I'm at today, watching Trump do what he does, watching Trump get away with what he's gotten away with, watching the Supreme Court back these decisions, make rulings that say he couldn't even be arrested if he's in the performance of his duties. Literally nothing he's doing today, nothing. It's even possible for him to be held accountable for because of the Supreme Court ruling in 2024. Not even possible. Like the 2024 ruling created an American king. And people thought that they were exaggerating, but not really. Like, how many times have we heard so far that's illegal? He can't do that. Like, you can only say that's illegal. He can't do that so many times while he does the thing. And then a judge says, don't do that. And maybe he backs off. Maybe he doesn't. And then nobody fucking says anything else. I do believe he's right. I do not believe that a country like the United States or even the UK or wherever, even a place that is, far to the left of the United States, like most of Europe is, like Spain or wherever, these places are not going to unseat capitalism without a revolution. Now, what exactly does that mean? Should I expect the FBI to knock on my door any second now? Maybe. Uh, but just because you don't think it could be unseated without revolution doesn't mean that you like a revolution is happening now or that you're planning for one or that you know what I mean. It's because you don't have the material conditions. That's where the groundwork comes in. That's where the you know bringing the working class together and doing that work, and maybe that's decades of work. And then once you get people on the same, in line, um, oh yeah, fascism is growing within Europe. Reform, AFD, Vox, etc. It's sad as fuck. Yeah, exactly. You know, um, and it's a shame. Like it's not a I told you so. It is a shame that after years and years and years of Europe and Canada and talking about the United States, I'm like you guys are next. Like, look what happened with Brexit. Just like it's not an accident. Like people could fool themselves into thinking that the Trump presidency of 2016 and that MAGA movement had nothing to do with Brexit passing. But I'm telling you right now, yes, the fuck it did. Yes, it did. Um, where you have countries like even Australia, politicians trying to become that country's next Trump, trying to, use his playbook. So yeah, I do not think that any of this shit is going to be unseated without violence. Um, but when it happens, when are the conditions met? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, Farage wants the U.S. to be a subject, aka the first state. Yeah, exactly. See, like it's all the same bullshit ass rhetoric and they all know. Like Trump knows that we're not getting Greenland. Trump knows that we're not, that he can't just take places, but it's rhetoric that his nationalist people want to hear. It makes him the person that they've been waiting for their whole life because they're easily manipulated that way. Oh, okay. I thought it was something I hadn't heard of before. I was like, Melanie be like, Mr. President, please help me make it like the US. Oh, can you? Oh my God. I heard it. I heard it's getting bad in Italy too. Yeah, shit is getting crazy. Um, let's move on. I don't know if y'all heard uh Trump is dead. Or so I thought. No, I never thought it. But man, the hope was there. The hope. Twitter was going nuts. Um, and I don't know. Did y'all? I don't know who here is still on X, but I know or Twitter or whatever. Um, who here is still on Twitter? There are people I know that are, and then I heard a rumor that Trump is dead is trending, and then I went to go look it up on Threads because that's the one I use, and it was trending there as well. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Did somebody just want to make a meme? But then it turns out um somebody took like JD Vance out of context to make a funny video. about there being a tragedy, and then people realizing that they hadn't seen him in the media for 2 days, et cetera, et cetera. It was actually I'm not gonna lie, a little fucking hilarious, really. And he does look like shit. Um, JD Vance's remarks over U.S. president sparks frenzy. Simpson's prediction adds fuel. U.S. President Donald Trump is all over X as a trend and has nothing to do with his infamously spontaneous comments, a new round of tariffs, or fiery campaign. Rather, the term Trump is dead swept the social media platform, causing a viral storm that sent users scrolling frantically for clarification. Vice President J.D. Vance's open interview with USA Today's on his comments about being prepared to assume the presidency in case of a terrible tragedy befalling President Trump set tongues wagging. Hey, thanks for the pity, Zen, by the way, one. Ready, step in, says JD Vance. They couldn't get a soundbite on him. They just had some Zen, by the way, one dropping some biddies. I appreciate you. Making the rain. Um so yeah. Yeah, actually. This is an actual theory. He's definitely had a stroke or something. Now this is the shit I want to hear because it lets me know. Well, it gives me hope rather. And that doesn't let me know anything. It gives me hope that we really are in a window of we might see this motherfucker die. Now, I don't know if that means anything good for the United States because that just means JD Vance becomes president. And the difference between Trump and JD Vance is I think JD Vance is a true believer. And that might be scarier. But also, JD Vance is also, like doesn't have a spine. He's a worm. And since he's a worm, he's a cabbage patch shaped worm. He I don't know that he's gonna be able to get as much shit done as Donald Trump. That's not to say that Donald Trump, I don't want to give Donald Trump, credit like he's a badass or something, but he is a lot more forceful, right? I mean, such is the narcissism that he has. Um, Suffering from long COVID. Excuse me. Here. I'm so sorry to have to subject you to Twitter disgustingness. So Adam Cochran, who I'm not really sure who he is, investor, professor, policy consultant. Okay, so he's some sort of professional. Looks like to be a finance bro with the Ethereum symbol in his name or some shit. He writes a post that's gone kind of viral, a thread, if you will. More proof of a Trump health cover up. Trump leaves White House again this morning with mouth agape. Yeah, I mean, he is old as fuck though, like, but he looks like shit. He looks like shit. Then things get weirder, like full on AI gaslighting weird, he says. Once again, goes golfing at his club, and reporters are confined to the tennis court area. not allowed to speak to Trump, and not allowed to see him golfing, which they normally can. His team posts his picture with close friends and a radio host, close friend and radio host John Fredericks. After days of outdated pictures, we finally get something that seems current, but something is off. Look, okay, before I continue, maybe there's something wrong with Trump. But I want you all to understand something before I keep scrolling. This is entertainment. Your boy is not going to become Blue Anon, and I really hope neither of you, nobody here does either. Okay, we're not gonna go Blue Anon, where we're starting to like try to find like little tiny things, like you know what I mean. It's like we're just gonna enjoy this. All right, we're all memeing here. Yes, he does have that intravenous whatever edema, whatever. But I don't know about congestive heart failure. He has some venous condition. Other than the weird staging, we noticed that Trump's eyes are barely open, especially his right eye. This would be consistent with someone recovering from a minor stroke or larger TIA. Traumatic. Let's see what this is. TIA stroke. What is it? Transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini stroke. Melania Trump got that will unlocked. She's like, please, please. But it's also an odd smile for Trump. Large, overly toothy, and uniform. The rare times he smiles with teeth, it's smaller and larger on one side. It's not his clenched teeth full smile, and his face doesn't push back that much when he does it. Wait, where's the there it is. All right, he's going to get into it. So then a thought, what about tools like FaceApp that use AI models to adjust a person's appearance? Since this isn't a press photo, we don't know it's not we don't know it's not face edits. Here's a sample of a Trump smile image run through FaceApp's smile feature on high settings. What do you notice? When we make the change, the app squishes the face to expand the smile. Crow's feet intensify, lips furl in, smile lines pull back, eyes become more closed, smile feels more intense, forced, unnatural. Oh, shit. Oh, look at that. God damn, what a fucking decrepit. Like, that is fucking scary. When we make the change, blah, 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 blah. So that's what's happening here. Crow's feet intensify, which I don't know. I feel like he might be, I think he might be, stretching things a little bit there. Because I'm looking at that right there compared to this. I don't. Or is this the fake? Yeah, this is the fake smile, right? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, okay. I see what he's saying. Unlike an AI that fully generates images, a face editor like FaceApp is hard to programmatically detect. There are no hidden watermarks or super obvious tells. The best method is changing the contrast probably in Photoshop to look for odd noise. Oh, look at this. Look at this shit. And when we boost contrast, you'll notice some. Hard to see with Twitter's compression, but the outline around Trump's face has pixelated noise, and so do his teeth. Oh, look at that. You know what's funny about shit like this? This is why I say that you'll never catch me being Blue Anon. Do you all know that? Do you know what he just said to be true? Like, that's the type of shit. Like I'm imagining somebody who like does digital photography work. Like I'm imagining them being like, yeah, tons of photos have this. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying that like I love when like conspiratorial shit just says stuff. Like um the best method is changing the contrast in Photoshop to look for odd noise. Okay, I have heard that before. But then he calls this odd noise. Like okay, is that what we're talking about? And around the teeth. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Um, if there's nothing wrong with the president, then why is he not is he not taking questions from the press? Why are they not allowed to see him golfing like usual? Why are we only getting controlled media releases? Why all why are all press images inconsistent with what his team puts out? We're on 7 days since he was last freely in front of the press. We'd expect a TIA or minor stroke victim to be able to walk and pose for a photo by now, but perhaps still have other small tells. The press are not asking any hard questions, and it's likely by midweek we'll get some simple talking from the president sitting behind the Resolute desk, and they'll pretend everything is okay. The president is clearly not running the country. I mean, was he ever though? I mean, it's all Project 2027 Blue Book. I mean, anybody can run the country at this point if that's all you're gonna do. Heritage Foundation. That's who's running the country. P.S. Q MAGA rage as the bootlickers tell me how healthy he looks, how this is obsessive, how he works so hard, and how vague whataboutisms about Biden somehow magically make Trump's health better. Oh shit. Oh yeah. That's that's Getty Images. Oh yeah. Something's wrong with that motherfucker. Not that one, that one. Look at that shit. If that isn't a whole ass Ninja Turtle, are they possibly doing that thing where they drag around the dead body like Weekend at Bernie's? Oh, and Pope John Paul II died. Jesus. That dude, you know what he looks like? He looks like a lost, like somebody lost their grandpa. Like, oh, sir, where are you? I was need my daughter. Where, oh, where sir, you're not wearing any pants. Where's your family at? By the way, an actual no shit, like that is what scares the fuck out of me. Like I don't give a fuck about death. It's not that I don't care about death. I'm sure, if I were dying, that would suck, right? But I mean, like, what is my actual fear? My fear is getting dementia. My fear is like not recognizing my wife or my kids. That is fucking horrifying to me. Um, JD Vance's succession claim, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, actually, holy shit. This is part of a longer thread. Let's start with the basics. All right. Sorry, Adam Cochran. no, no, Grandpa, no, but they let me. They let me because I'm rich and famous. Um, let's start with the basics. TIAs are temporary blockages. You'll see symptoms. Yeah, okay. We talk about that. TIAs, yep, gets into that. In March 2024, Ron Filipowski notes that Trump has been dragging his right leg for a while. Mm. Interesting. No, not that one. That's yeah, something's wrong with this with that leg right there. What an idiot. What an idiot. And it's like the MAGA people are all uh, oh, he does that because you're triggered by it. I'm like, I'm not. My grandpa did that in his last years. He's weakening. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Viola, it's like pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what aging is. Your aging is just slowly more vital functions that your body, is ceasing to work correctly. You know what I mean? Um, so you get congenital heart failure, or something's wrong with your lungs, or your blood flow, your veins are all fucked up, or something happens because you're just falling apart. You're falling apart. But God, he looks so fucking stupid though. All right. Then in a Time magazine interview from right after the election, we see the first note of Trump's hand bruising. Um, Sitting under bright lights for 30-minute photo session ahead of a 60-minute interview, he'd asked the people, go to the next post there. Yeah, well, you're blocking the words, Home Skillet. Oh man, see, this is what I'm talking about. Has anybody ever seen uh Midsummer? Like in Midsummer, when they like they get to a certain age and they jump off that cliff. Bro, take me to that fucking cliff. Take me to that cliff before I start like shitting myself and forgetting my family and having to wear makeup all over. Like, nah. Take me to a cliff. I'm out. He comes up again during the Macron visit. The next medical event we see is the president's annual physical report. Comparing the medication list to his old reports, we notice 3 new medications: rosuvastatin. Oh, statin. That's something to do with blood. Ezetimibe and daily aspirin. At first, I thought this might be a normal medication for managing cholesterol, and I've recently heard of preventative aspirin use in the past. But I decided to interview some heart specialists, and I'm glad I did. There are 2 general takeaways I heard from multiple specialists. Daily aspirin is not recommended for prevention anymore. An aspirin regime is treating something. Timibe is a second line medication not used for regular LDL treatment. Statins like rosuvastatin will manage cholesterol alone, whereas the ezetimibe will be used as a second line if the patient is high cardiovascular risk, such as prior strokes, heart attacks, or arterial disease. Then it's used for stroke prevention. Trump's previous medical reports claim his cardiovascular health is great, and is on the statin, so he shouldn't need ezetimibe. But this also brings us to the aspirin. As it turns out, aspirin hasn't been advised as a daily course prevention method for quite a while. Aspirin is used to thin blood to prevent clotting. Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. Doesn't he have like, I don't know if that quack doctor from the 2016 works with him still, but I could see him like not trusting any doctor that wouldn't just do some old timey shit. Oh my god, I remember this picture. They keep coming back to this claim as aspirin does indeed make bruising easier. There are 3 problems with this claim. Bruising is seen on both hands, not just his dominant hand. The next problem, CVI is not a sudden onset issue, and swollen ankles is an intermediate symptom. An annual physical in April would have caught CVI back then if ankles were going to be swelling. I don't know what you're looking into. Trump is healthy as a horse, like Secretariat or C. It's funny. I only know of those because of BoJack Horseman. Um, so what does all this mean when a patient has a TIA? They have temporary symptoms, but we started on aspirin, rosuvastatin, and ezetimibe to prevent future ischemic stroke risk, just like we see with Trump. So it turns out, oh my God, yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah. What are you using aspirin for? So yeah. Let's look, here's the deal. The minute that motherfucker dies, I'm going live. So be ready. Be ready to jump in here so we can play the crab dance party. And I am gonna get drunk that day. I am gonna fucking party like it's 1999. High cholesterol and prevents heart attack. Okay. Um, this is 6 minutes. I kind of want to. You know, we're gonna go to. We're gonna do brain rot today. We're gonna make some time for brain rot. Um, no, I have to wake up early, so no, we're not gonna do brain rot today. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how I feel in 6 minutes. What if it's during the co-stream? What co-stream? What if it's during the co-stream? What co-stream? I don't know what you're talking about. What we're gonna watch is the largely forgotten history of Philadelphia's police bombing of black organization Move. Was it you, Jon Stewart? Oh shit! Damn, there you go. There you go, Jon Stewart. And if I could get that in quickly before he dies, mm, 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 mm. Oh, there's a culture. Wait. Oh, what if it's during the co-stream? Yeah. Got it. Man, I'm slow. How you forget your regular stream? No, I didn't know. I didn't know what he meant. I don't look at it like a co-stream. When I think of co-stream, I mean like two different people streaming. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like like I would say like we're streaming. But I feel you. I see what happens. I had blood cuts in the past, and after my rat poison treatment. What? I had blood clots in the past, and after my rat poison treatment for several months, they advised me to take a baby aspirin for blood thinning. What the fuck do you mean rat poison treatment? Like you were poisoned and you were getting treatment, or they used rat poison to treat the blood clots? Like what's going on here? The brain is turning to soup, man. No, why? You got something for me, Elite? If you got brain rot, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. But because we're probably gonna need something after this one. You know, we're gonna learn. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Once a stream, we're gonna try to find something about our American history that is something we've been lied to about, because we want to make sure we know what they mean when they say "Make America Great Again." What exactly are they talking about? Well, let's check this out. Okay, bet. Thank you.
Week marked the 40th anniversary of one of the worst tragedies in the history of Philadelphia. In May 1985, the city's police department dropped an improvised bomb on a residential home that housed the Black revolutionary organization called Move. The bomb and the ensuing fire killed 11 members of the group, including 5 children, and destroyed more than 60 nearby homes. Ali Rogan reports on why so many are still coming to grips with what happened.
MOVE is a totally revolutionary organization.
The complicated story of MOVE begins in the early 1970s. The organization followed the teachings of their founder, John Africa, who advocated a lifestyle rooted in nature. All members took Africa's last name and lived communally in West Philadelphia.
We must fight back.
They were known for staging disruptive demonstrations and frequently clashing with authorities, protesting everything from police brutality and war to pet stores and zoos.
No, but we could just say he is. I still think that if we could just manifest it, like if we all like do the Care Bear stare together, and we just like believe, you know, like you're trying, like it's at the end of some Christmas movie, and Santa is having trouble like getting up into the sky because just people don't believe him anymore, and we're all like believing super hard so that he can take off. That's what we need to do to make this motherfucker die.
MOVE is and was an organization.
Saying that sentence right there, like saying all of that, like I felt like I could have went to sleep right there. I could have like just went, oh, I'm done. I'm tired as fuck. So I'm gonna take that DM Elite, and we're gonna do it on Friday. Okay, we're doing it. We're gonna do it big on Friday.
That's very much committed to life in all of its forms and whatever that looks like.
Tommy Oliver is the director of
Do you have
40
aunties
Years
that do
Prisoner,
brujeria for
a
real?
2020 HBO documentary that traces the group's origins.
They're committed to eating naturally, to
I don't know if Maneater's still listening, but if she is, that's the type of shit that you know, if you really want to freak out relatives, start getting some like brujeria shit, like, you know, and then when people come and visit, you know, that's going back to the culture. You need to stop buying that white people witch shit. I have to spend 10 extra minutes on dialysis for the bleeding to stop. I was on medication called warfarin when I had the clocks. Damn. Still Christians, weirdly enough. Yeah, that's the way that goes. That's the way that goes.
living naturally, to not being reliant on technology.
We walked around naked a lot. As children, the organization.
Okay. Okay. It is not okay, right? I don't want the point to be missed, and I'm kind of mad that they're like going through this. So like nobody, look, we're not trying to like learn about MOVE right now, okay? But can I just say that all of the members of MOVE taking the leader's last name and then walking around naked together and you know, nudist colonies or whatever. I'm not judging nudist colonies, but there's some shit that's like, this is weird. You don't deserve to be bombed by your fucking state. Still weird though, you know. Turned out it was developed when they found out it killed the rats on farms, getting into the food supply for the animals. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Sounds cultist. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We don't need to miss the point. This is how our government bombed a black activist organization that may or may not have been a cult. I don't know.
Did not. They believed in vitamin D from the sun. They believed in allowing your skin to be tougher and stronger.
Mike Africa Jr.'s parents were both members of MOVE.
Yes, it was unorthodox, and yeah, some things were strange to some people, but for me, that was life.
That way of life often put MOVE at odds with local police and their neighbors, who accused them of creating unsanitary living conditions.
Them trying to live in the way that they wanted to live didn't sit well with a lot of people. So sometimes the neighbors, sometimes the city, and it escalated pretty significantly, pretty quickly.
In 1978, more than a year after the city issued an eviction notice, Philadelphia's then mayor Frank Rizzo ordered an attack on
Okay, let me tell you all something. Check this out.
Move's home.
They're going
An attack on Move.
If I'm walking somewhere and I have to escort this guy, I think I would be wondering why I don't get the same armor. Like, where are we taking this dude? Why is he going? Can I get a little bit of armor here?
Philadelphia's then mayor Frank Rizzo ordered an attack on Move's home.
they're going to go either easy or hard way. That can be standing up or laying down.
The months-long standoff culminated in a shootout. One police officer was killed and Move's home was demolished. While Move maintains that the officer died by friendly fire, 9 of its members were convicted and sentenced to up to 100 years in prison,
Jesus.
including Mike Africa Jr.'s parents.
The mayor admitted that he believed my parents were innocent. He believed that my parents were not in prison for the charge that they were charged with.
Police are inside Move headquarters in West Philadelphia conducting an intensive search for weapons.
He says the media's portrayal of Move was often exaggerated, and he says the organization was misunderstood even among many African Americans.
Move members are not the turn the other cheek type people. And a lot of people felt like pacifism was the answer.
Well, why didn't you say this earlier? Because that's actually a really fucking good idea. Damn it.
And Move members were not pacifistic. If a cop attacked them, they would fight back.
Tommy Oliver says those early confrontations, including that 1978 shootout, are critical to understanding what eventually happened 7 years later.
You had officers and members of the police force who wanted revenge.
In May of 1985, Philadelphia Mayor Wilson Goode ordered the organization to be removed once again from a home where they were living.
What we have out there is war.
And on May 13th, local news stations like WCAU in Philadelphia covered the escalating crisis throughout the day. Police would fire more than 10,000 rounds of ammunition into Move's row house before eventually dropping a bomb on it.
Jesus.
The city's police commissioner at the time, Gregory Sambor, defended his officers that evening.
At no time did any police position fire in an offensive posture. It was purely in a defensive posture.
11 Move members, including 5 children, were killed.
Can you imagine dropping a bomb defensively? This guy clearly was trained in Israel.
While no city officials were criminally charged, a Philadelphia investigative commission later concluded that police actions were clearly excessive and, quote, unconscionable.
I don't think I'll ever recover or heal from what happened.
Mike Africa Jr., who was 6 at the time of the bombing, is now working as the legacy director of Move. He's reunited with his parents, who were released from prison in 2018 but
nice.
remain on parole.
I've never heard of another case where a government has dropped a bomb on citizens in America. This is not something that you can repair back to normal. You have to find other ways to cope. And that's what I've been doing for the last 40 years.
In 2020, Philadelphia's city council formally apologized for what happened, as has former mayor Wilson Goode. But Africa Jr. says 4 decades later, he'd like the city to create a permanent memorial to commemorate all that was lost that day. In your opinion, why do you feel that so few Americans know about the events that took place 40 years ago?
I think the city of Philadelphia does a really good job of limiting the amount of exposure to what happened. I also think that Move history is a very controversial history that brings up a lot of trauma for a lot of people. Black people were killed by law enforcement, and You know, if you saw what happened to George Floyd, and at a certain point you're tired of hearing about the people that were getting killed by these police officers.
But that doesn't stop Mike Africa Jr. from his mission of making sure the history of MOVE and the tragic event that claimed 11 lives isn't forgotten. For PBS News Weekend, I'm Allie Rogan.
Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, thank you. Thank you for showing up, participating, and learning with me. If you are lurking in the shadows, because I'm pretty sure everybody in chat knows, but for those who might not, I am live on a lot of Mondays and Fridays, but I'm live every Thursday over on the channel Blurred Without Fear with Ernie the Blurred Without Fear, talking about nerd shit, nerds of culture, podcast I have with my buddy. So check me out. 8 o'clock on Mondays and Fridays Eastern Time, 7 o'clock on Blur Without Fear, Nerds of Culture Eastern Time. Yeah, John Stewart, yes. Don't forget to like the live stream, and like a couple more videos too. You know what I'm saying? Just click a couple. Just click like on the way out. Yeah, and last thing. Do not forget to manifest that energy so we can make sure that we know that Trump died while we were manifesting. And then, maybe I won't be an atheist anymore. Maybe I'll believe. So we got to make this happen. I love you all. I'll see you all on Thursday.